Hello, interwebs, and welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. My name is Skinny Mini.
And I'm Pharaoh.
And last episode, we finally caught Marshall with our trump card, and he's going to confess right now, so let's get to it.
I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. And I managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
No murder? So, the supposed victim was really you?
But there's one thing I still don't understand. Large quantities of blood traces were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Well, Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. I guess he's the donor. But it looked like way too much blood for that.
Yeah, if it's just his hand.
Oh, it is Meekins though, so
True.
if that means anything.
Alright, now what we want to do is press on all his statements, so there's going to be a lot of talking here.
Yay. Now, when you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? Oh, the SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end of the transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking to the evidence room? Well, the case is closed. Only the detective who was in charge of it can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why I...
That's why you what?
What did you do?
What did you do? Oh crap, hold on one second. Okay, press on this one.
More pressing. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, well, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera.
And the detective's ID card?
I stole that the morning of the incident. So that was really why Goodman started filling out that lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. It's the ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. So, essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Normally, that locker shouldn't have opened. Oh, so it opened because a rubber glove was stuck in the door by chance? Then Detective Goodman must have opened that locker before Officer Marshall. Okay.
So he wasn't expecting to find Officer Meekins, so press on that.
Poor Meekins. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone could actually come in during that short time.
Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person. Making a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID.
I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year.
Oh.
When did Edward get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me, and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything. Now, by the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one?
Oh, is that? Oh, Lord.
I should have figured. I don't know what to say.
So what happened next?
Please continue. I'm so intrigued.
Oh gosh. So you managed to escape, and so you press on this.
So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner.
Nope.
I didn't think it would make a difference though. The security tapes erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. Wait, what was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby.
So what you're saying is, on that day, there wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. Why so specific? Okay, press on this.
But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no, I didn't.
What?
Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
Whoa! What?
Okay.
Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor.
Oh my god.
Detective Goodman's... Yeah, that's just... Oh, wait, whoops. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
Yeah.
Far away, partner. It's a free country. Now just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer.
Oh, you
Well, he has a point, though. Mm-hmm. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID? Injuring a police officer? I mean, this is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary.
Ugh.
Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution.
Right? Oh.
Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine.
But we can help
and I'll
you.
Well, he doesn't want our help. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. Can't just forget about the SL9 incident. You know why? What?
No.
Okay. No, let's press on that. We need more info, dude.
But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
Joe Dark was convicted of those crimes. One thing I can say for sure, he deserved his sentence.
I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it?
I don't intend to complain about how it turned out. But there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about.
What happened?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Well, maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I better take another look at those files.
Oh yeah. So here is where you want to present that evidence that Lana gave us. Let's check the button. So if you had time to look through here are the victims: Edward Jones, Edith Kirby, Jeb Bates, Jason Knight, Rachel Moss, and Neil Marshall? But he's a marshal.
Hey.
So that's kind of suspicious. So present that here.
It all makes sense.
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh,
Sorry, I messed up.
Nope. What'd you do?
I presented the wrong statement.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, look what you did.
Crap.
No, I thought it was the right one.
No, I did it on the first one. Yeah, I had to go all the way back.
It went back. Yeah, that's poo-poo.
They're just kind of stupid.
Oh, what can you do? There we go.
Oh, fart, no.
Oh, look what you did now.
I can't, my buttons.
I'm just joking.
Don't make me cry. Okay, I can't just forget about the SL9 instant, you know why. So this is where you present it. There we go.
There we go. Now we're okay.
Jeez.
Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. Ew. I have the SL9 incident file right here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims.
Oh.
Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you heard the name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
What? A prosecutor?
He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award.
What?
Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands.
But what's his relation to you?
He was my brother.
Aww.
How I'm sad. He took off his hat. He was investigating the murders of Damon Gant, chief detective at that time. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark.
God,
Oh man,
yeah.
That's not creepy. My brother fought Dark and he was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least, according to public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me.
What?
Man.
Well, at least one thing's for certain. We know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the last the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Well, disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. Oh. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze.
Ugh.
At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. chance? It's gotta be more than just that.
So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Oh crap.
Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky.
Oh no.
Shut up about that. But wait! A verdict wasn't even reached in yesterday's trial! Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained a mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. Seems to me, this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All the mysteries of the police department have been uncovered. No contradictions remain. The murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky. There were no errors in the testimony of the witness, Angel Star. If you have a response, then make it one word or less.
Okay.
Oh. Not really sure it was a word, but I rest my case.
That wasn't a word. It seems the trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty.
Crap. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. No! She didn't...
I mean...
What?
And usually they call her up first, not just... Wait, who did that?
Emma?
Ah.
Wait, Your Honor, wait!
Emma!
The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right?
Wait, what do you mean, right?
Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor. Oh, well, in a sense?
Please, Your Honor, I'm asking for 1 minute of your time. Please, hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please.
I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
Aww. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dart killings.
Well, now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky sisters were in that file.
But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So, I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker?
But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured it. If I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked again.
So, did you find something?
No.
Huh?
Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
And I'm just an attorney.
But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone could save Lana, it's you.
Me? Oh boy.
Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright, With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
It appears the defense is troubled by the elder blood mark. Looking at the... Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be more of use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be... Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If ever I need to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing?
Yeah, I think there's something you could be missing. So, object!
This handprint left at the crime scene. But it clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is that you're grasping, Mr. Wright.
I'll show you grasping, Edgeworth.
Yeah, start choking the living hell out of him right there.
Right? You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, but this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something's missing.
You know what? Something is missing.
There is?
Yeah.
I'm a little unsure myself. I forgot stuff. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
That's true. I think I know what he's talking about. Let us pray the defense isn't simply buying time. Very well, Mr. Wright.
With all this evidence here, there's gotta be something I can use.
The question is, which item can prove something is missing from the floor plans? Okay, now, even though you may not think about it, but it is the most biggest thing in the video that was so bothersome. Now, if you remember the video, what was the biggest thing that was blocking our view?
Oh.
The blue badger panel. The whole issue with it being in front of the camera.
See, my issue was I was thinking floor plans in a straight, like, architectural standpoint, but at the same time, like, they have to include everything that was on the floor, including the blue badger.
Yep, they didn't think that would be a big deal, but technically it would.
What about that piece of plywood? The blue badger, mascot of the police force, defender of truth, guardian of proof.
Okay, are you gonna turn into a Sailor Scout?
You want to sing the theme song now?
No.
I forgot the words myself. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The blue badger is not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Okay. Well,
You see?
I see.
Well, what?
I shouldn't have done that.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I just did that too sharp. That's right. So long as the blue badger is dancing here, it will be impossible to place a handprint on the spot of the locker. What? Someone's not a fan when that happens.
I know, it's weird. So that means, just exactly what does it mean?
It means you're an idiot, but it also means it can't be done.
What are you saying, calling me an idiot? But blood traces are undeniably found on that locker.
Well, don't look at me. I didn't put it there.
Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically.
Emma!
On that afternoon. Officer Meekins was the one who brought in the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker.
Oh, so that must mean this blood mark. It was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in.
Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. Now, the problem is the other time. Someone bled prior to the struggle showed on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered.
Corner music.
Well, that's ridiculous. I refute you. That sounds weird.
Yeah.
The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. And here come the objections. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand that you show evidence that proves it occurred. When did the first incident occur?
To surmise, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was disguised as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in the evidence room.
The blood mark on the locker proves this.
Very well, then tell us, when did this first incident occur? Proof must be presented.
Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows the first crime took place? Now, we haven't used it in a while, but it's the ID card record, because it shows who came in there beforehand. So, present them up here.
If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the perpetrator would have to have entered the room. And in order to do so, they need an ID card. ID card is required.
An ID card? Oh, the ID card record.
Seems so happy about that. Like, oh, I got it. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at...
Oh, let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done?
Really? I never figured you had the nerve, boy. I'll put off the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. Well, that means the blood from the first crime scene was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Now let's look at the chart again. The only other card number remaining, well, is 7777777. 7 maybe.
You added an extra 7.
Well, shoot. I had it first. Okay. Talk about a lucky number.
But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Officer Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Well, since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer.
Oh.
That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with Lucky 7. I'm just gonna call it that.
Okay. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 7777777.
There's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Like I did. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. Not your son, first off. The ID number, Lucky 7, belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to we don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. Yeah. But that's ridiculous. Just how... I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright.
Don't ever cut me
There's...
off again.
Exactly. It's like, I'm talking. There's one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted.
An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. Well, that's how the prosecutor's office operates.
Oh, crap.
I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask you a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there.
Uh-oh.
Your own little executive. Lana? Oh, boy. Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course I looked up her ID number, and it's not Lucky 7. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask.
Uh-oh.
All I want to know is one thing. About that incident.
The SL9 incident.
Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence?
Uh-oh.
Oh, I'm not
Lana?
sure if I'm liking where this is going. Do you need a witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor?
I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth.
2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At that time,
Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. What? Lana? I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying?
I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did?
Chief Prosecutor, you didn't! I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Oh.
Why don't you answer him?
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence. No!
Oh, no!
No, they didn't!
They did, though.
Oh my god.
Oh. See? That's what I'm talking about. No! No!
Oh no! Order! Order! Order!
Lon's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day.
Oh no. To be continued. Oh no.
Whew.
Oh, doggy.
That's yeah. That's a revelation.
Yeah, that got dramatic too quick. Well, looks like we're gonna have a lot of investigating to do in the next episode, guys. Oh boy.
Yay.
Oh boy. But I thank you so very much for watching, and please stay tuned because there's a lot gonna happen and you do not want to miss it at all.
Yep, we're coming in kind of in a final stretch. I mean, we're getting there, so it's gonna be insane. Just wait.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, don't you know?
Alright guys, if no one has told you that they love you today, I definitely do. What you got to say, Pharaoh?
Nothing. Okay.
Alright.
I'm good.
Bye, guys.